Welcome to Snowball and Friends. My name is Irena Schulz, and I will be your host. Snowball's previous owners were very good to him. He was given the best foods, lived in the nicest of cages, and always had plenty of toys. You can see that Snowball is a very happy bird by how zestfully he dances to music. He even hams it up in front of crowds who cheer and applaud his talents, and one can easily see that Snowball is full of himself. Not a day goes by that he doesn't do something outrageous to make me chuckle. Snowball has had a good life, but not all birds have been that lucky. Here at Bird Lovers Only, we've received birds so terrified of humans that they would cower in the backs of their cages and scream in terror when we would come within a few feet of their cages. Some were malnourished from neglect, as in the case of a parrot that was kept covered all day and all night in order to keep it quiet. And then there's Macaw Betty, whose story caught my attention.
This is Miss Betty. She's a 28 or 29-year-old Harlequin macaw. This is my little rescue bird. She's my success story. And you'll play with my fat. You'll play my necklace. All right.
Okay.
This is Miss Betty. She's approximately 30 years old. She's a Harlequin macaw. She's a rescue bird. When my friend Kenny found her, he was at a bird show, and he said that she was in a parakeet cage a lot like this one. Her head was, she was bald. She didn't have any feathers. Her head was scraping the top of this cage. Her tail, she didn't have any tail feathers. Her butt was dragging in the bottom of this cage. And he had to cut her out of the cage. He bought her for $200, and he got her home, and he had to cut the top of the cage off and take her out of the cage, and her feet were frozen to the perch. He had to cut the perch off and slide her feet out of it. These people bought her as a breeder bird, and when they figured out that she was a harlequin, they put her in this cage in a closet for 17 years. No socialization, no human contact. They threw wild bird seed and water into her cage when they thought about it, I guess. And Kitty got her. Her fingernails were grown in complete circles, and it's taken several years to get her feet to where she could walk. When Kenny first got her, she couldn't even walk. He had to carry her around wrapped in a towel because she was hurt so badly. It took him several $1,000s, a bunch of trips to the vet to get her fixed. Her beak, she was scissor beaked so badly, her bottom beak grew up and stuck up over the top of her top beak, and her top beak was growed around the bottom of her chin. And she only had a little hole right here on the side of her mouth where she could eat and drink. And she was terrified of everything that moved.
We say it is our right to own birds. Do all of us have that right? Or is that right only reserved for those who properly and responsibly care for them? And who is to decide? Perhaps we misuse the word right as anything and everything we want as a justification to have it. Food for thought. Should our right to own birds nullify the bird's right to own the skies?